We'll be going over IRS Form 4506-B, request for a copy of exempt organization IRS application or letter. So this is one of the forms in that 4506 series, which basically all of these are different request forms for taxpayer information that the IRS may have on file. This particular form will allow you to obtain copies of certain correspondence, specifically applications or letters on behalf of either political organizations, not-for-profits, tax-exempt entities. So this does not, the IRS does specify that you should not use this form if you're requesting an actual tax return. So in this video, we'll kind of walk through this form itself. It's relatively straightforward. There's 5 parts to complete, and then you actually just submit it by clicking the button at the bottom of the form, which generates an email that goes off to the IRS. So in order to use this form, you have to have Adobe Acrobat set up on your computer. And you have to be able to enable Adobe Acrobat. So we'll walk through some of the nuances that the IRS kind of specifies in the form instructions, since it's a little bit more difficult to toggle back and forth than it would be with a typical tax form. So let's start by going through the 5 basic parts of the tax form, and then we'll kind of cover some of the administrative items. So in part 1, we put in the requester's name and certain information, phone number, the date of the application, and then their address. So in this case, we've got our hero John Doe, his phone number, today's date, which at the time of this recording happens to be Leap Day, and then his address, city, state, country, and zip code. And then in part 2, we'll complete the same information for the exempt organization in question. So in this case, we put in Acme not-for-profit, and then the employer identification number, their address, city, state, and zip code. So in part 3, you select the status that you're using. If you're an educational institution, you would put that. A non-commercial scientific institution, okay. The media, all others. If you're using this for commercial purposes, then you just hit that. So the primary difference is that anyone except for commercial users can obtain the first 100 pages for free. After that, all pages are 20 cents per copy. For commercial users, everything is 20 cents per copy. So that's the cost that the IRS will charge to obtain copies of this correspondence. So if you've never seen this correspondence before, you may want to just see if you can find some online versions first. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. So in box 5, you can check the box or boxes that you're requesting. So let me back up for a moment. If you're requesting information on more than one exempt organization, then you would have to complete a separate form 4506-B for each organization. However, if you're requesting more than one piece of information from that organization, then you can put all of that on one form. So, basically you get to select, so application, that would be the most recent versions of Form 1023, 1023EZ. These are all different applications, but it also includes their associated documents. So if they included articles of incorporation or corporate bylaws as part of their application, you're going to get all of that, which those documents can easily go over the 100-page threshold, and you might be getting a bill for whatever the difference is. Now, as a caveat, the IRS will send you a bill for that, the cost to photocopy these documents. And if that cost is over $250, which that would be whatever, $250 divided by 20 cents a page, that's like 1,250 pages. So if it's above that, they're going to ask you to pay in advance. So, you can hit this. You can request just a copy of the determination letter. You can get a copy of the affirmation letter, which is basically their current letter affirming the exempt status of that organization, or you can request other documents which you would have to specify. So the IRS instructions specifically state that if the organization filed for exemption under a different section of the tax code, or if they were previously granted and then it got revoked and then they reapplied and got it reinstated, those will be separate applications. So you would have to say, I'd like the most recent application, and then you would have to go into the other tab, and you would have to specify other information that you know to exist that you would like copies of. So that's pretty straightforward. We do kind of cover this a little bit more in detail in our article, which you can find on teachmepersonalfinance.com. Simply type in IRS form 4506-B and you'll see the article appear. So examples under the other tab that you could request would be group exemption requests, requests that were made on IRS form 8940, some of them, and prior exemption applications. Now, you should make you should allow for extra time. The IRS specifies that these may take longer to process, which usually means that they will take longer to process, and they could result in significant delays. So you don't have to submit any personal information about yourself other than the information that was requested up here, but nothing like your social security number or any other information. Now, there are other options that you can use to find the information that you might be looking for. So if you know that you're going to maybe expect quite a few documents, then you can go through those options. One thing that I was remiss in not saying is that you should save this as an Adobe file, and then you can always submit the form just by clicking this button. I'm not going to do that because I'm not John Doe, but that's what you would do. You would save this to make sure that you retain that information in your document, and then you would just hit that application key. So let's see. So yes, you can get like certain information, specifically exempt organization determination letters that were issued in the 2014 tax year and afterwards. You can actually just go to the tax exempt organization search page, which contains a lot of information. It contains prior year tax returns. For these, you can really drill down and get a lot of detail and information. If you're into data analysis, you can pull down bulk records, things of that nature. So, and then if you wanted actual political organization status information, then you would go to a different link. The POL or ORGS, section of the IRS website would give you information on the political organizations. So you can also request this information from the political or the exempt organization themselves. They are required to make their returns, their reports, notices, and applications available for public inspection. You can visit that organization to inspect the material instead of requesting it from the IRS. They might be able to even provide copies. So that would be an alternative if you do know that, or you expect that this will be pretty expensive due to the volume of forms. So, and one other question that was in the back of my mind, in our article, if you end up finding that you got here by mistake and you were looking for a different form, 4506, we put links in our article. We'll put links in the show notes to all the different articles and videos that we've created on those forms. And last but not least, the IRS says that if you're looking for actual tax returns, you should use IRS form 4506-A instead of B. This is specifically for correspondence or applications, letters, things of that nature. The actual tax returns, like the 990 series documents, you would request using IRS form 4506-A. So that's all we have for this article. As I mentioned, we'll put links in the show notes to everything that was mentioned. And then if you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. If you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or comments, or if there's a topic that you'd like to see in an upcoming video, please hit me up in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.